and to display the pagination links. So let's move to our, so let's see our console. So here we have invalid property class, and each child should have a unique key. Okay, so let's copy the class name from here. So here we have class, and here we have class. What else? And here this class, so we don't need it. So I think that's all. So what else we need? Each child should have a unique key. Okay, let's give our tr here a key, and we can give his index as the key. Okay, so let's refresh the page now. Let's take a look. So now the errors have disappeared. Let's move to our network. So here, so we have the tasks, and the tasks, as you can see, so inside the tasks or inside the response, we have the meta, and inside the meta, we have the current page, the last page. Also, we have links, we have the previous, we have, if it is active, we have here second page, and we have here also, this is second page, and here the first page, and here per page, and two, and total. So what we need to do, we need to access the meta, and inside the meta we have the links, and each link has the previous and also has the first page, second, and we have here next link. Okay, so we need to map through all of these links that we have here and display them. So this is or these are pagination links, so we need to display them here down. Okay, and to do that, so we need to add another function. So let's add it here. So const, let's call it render pagination links, render pagination links. So it will return JSX. So let's use here UL with the class pagination, and inside, as I told you, so we need but before we do that, so here when we set the tasks, so we give them the response.data, and here now inside our tasks, so we have only the data which is an array that has the tasks, so we don't have the other properties which are links and the meta and what else. So that's all. So what we need to do, we need to set the tasks and give them the response.data without accessing the data, so we can have the meta and the links. So we will not use these links that we have here, but we will have the links and the meta inside our tasks array. And once we have the meta, so now we can use it, but we need to do change. So here we are looping using the tasks. So now we have the data, so we need to use the data and the map. Okay, so if we save, so we'll have the same result, so nothing will change. So it's same thing. So as you can see, we have our tasks. So let's go back to our function that we have added here. So now we can use our tasks. And as I told you, now the tasks has the meta, so we can access it. And the meta has the links. And links, now we can map through each link. Let's use here link and index. And we return JSX, and we will return null I with the page item class, and let's give it also a key, because here we are mapping through the links. So let's give it a key, and key in our case will be the index. What else we need? Let's add another link here and give it class page link, and later we will see what or how to move to the next page. So for now, let's display only our links, and each link, as we have seen here, let's go to our network tasks. Let's move down. So here each link, as we have seen, has label and also has URL, page, and active. So we need to display the label. So the label has the previous page 1, 2, and next. Okay. So now we can do like this, not label, but task or link dot label. Okay. So save. Let's see what we have here. So let's move down. So we did not call the function yet. So let's call it. So let's call it here. So this div, let's see, this div is for the table. Okay, let's call it after the table. So let's add a div with margin top and bottom of 2. And just define content to the center. And now we can call our function, which is render pagination links, and save. And let's see now what we have. So as you can see, we have the first and second, and we have the next and the previous. So here, justify content to the center. Let's use also deflex. Save. Let's take a look. So now it's in the center. So we need to remove this, as you can see, these symbols. So we have the previous, next, and we need to remove this symbol. And to remove it, it's easy. We can use the replace method, replace, and replace the. So we have the at and what else, Leico, and semicolon, and what else, we replace it with the an empty string. So let's see. So now we have previous. So we need to add another replace. And now we replace the other one, which is same thing. So we have now Reiko and semicolon, and we replace it with an empty string. So save. Let's see. So now we have the first and the next and the previous. So let's also. So now the first page is the active one. So we need to add the active. And to add active, so we have here this class, not this one inside li, but inside our link, which is page link. So let's remove it. And we need to use the backticks. So we can add or we can check for the class. And as we have seen, so the link has the active class. So here it's true inside the first page, here it's false for the other pages. So here we need to check if the link has the active class. So what we need to do, we need to add active, but not here. We need to add it inside. So let's add active class. If not, we add an empty string. So save. Let's take a look. So now, as you can see, this is the active class. So now we need, once we click here, so we need to move to the second page or go back to our first page. So what we need now to do, we need to add. So we need to add another function that will take us to the next page. And this function, let's call it. So let's add it first here. So we can call it move to next page. And it will receive the link. And here we need to define a variable, let's call it URL, and we need to use the class URL from JavaScript and give it the link. And once we have the URL, so now we can use something. We need to do something before we move to the next page. So I forgot to add another variable here. Let's add it. Let's call it page, which is the default page that we will use. So what is this? So the default page in our case, let's move here. So if you check so here we are getting the tasks. Let's move to the links. So here, as you can see, we have the page. So we have the question mark page 2, and here we have the question mark page 1. So we need to do the same thing. We need to use this page so we can display the next page. So the page by default we need to give it 1. So let's remove this empty array. So 1 is the first page, which is by default. And we need also to change our call. So here we have tasks. Let's remove it from here and add the backticks. And now we can add tasks. And we need to use the same thing as I told you, the question mark. And here we use our page. And the page in our case will be 1, which is the first page. So now when the page changes, so we will get the second page. And here, as I told you, so now we have the URL. So what we need to do, we need once we click on the move to the next page, so we need to update the page. So we set the page, and what we give it, so we'll give it the URL dot search params dot get page. So we will get this param that we have here, which is the page. So if we have the page number 2, so we will display the page number 2. If we have number 1, we will move back to number 1. So here move to next, next or previous page. So we'll switch between the pages. So move to next, previous page, okay? So let's now use this function. So we can use it here when we click on our, so let's organize the code so it will be clear for you. So when we click on our link, so let's move this down. So now on click, so we call the method which is move to the next or previous page. But we need here, before we click, so we need to add parentheses, and now we paste the function and we give it the link. So that's all. Or link.url, so sorry, not only link, because we need the URL as we have said. So we need URL, and URL has the param, which is the page, okay? So let's save and see what we are doing here. So let's click or let's refresh the page just to remove if we have any previous error here. So we don't have any error. So let's now try to move to the next page. So nothing changed. Let's see what we have here. So nothing also here. Let's click again. So nothing here. So why it's not showing the next page? Because we did not watch the page, that's why. So let's move to our use effect. So here we need to watch the page, because the page will change. So here it's 1, but when we click on the link, it will be 2. So let's go back again. So now we have moved to the second page. Let's refresh again and see what we have. So let's go to the second page. So this is the second page. Let's go to the previous. So now we are in the previous. So let's see. Let's go back to the second. So here the index is the same. So we can fix this problem. So as you can see, we have from 1 to 10. We can fix it. But okay, let's fix it later. So for now, if you want to be sure that we are moving to the next page, we can use here, instead of index, we can use ID, okay? Just to be sure. And later we will fix this problem. So if we move, so now as you can see, 11, 12 until 20. If we go back, so it's the same thing, we have 10, okay? So let's use, if you want to use the ID, use it. If you want to use the index, use it. And later we will fix this problem. Why we have here from 1 to 3, we can fix it. So now what we need to do, so let's click on the next page again. So now we are in the next page. If we click again, as you can see, so we can't move to the next page because we don't have a next page. And if we check our console, so as you can see, we have failed to construct URL, invalid URL, because we don't have the next link. If we check our network tab and we move down inside links, so here inside next, which is next link, so the URL is null, which means that we don't have URL. So we need to remove next or the previous links if we don't have URL. Okay, so to prevent the user from clicking on next and previous if we don't have a previous. Okay, if we don't have a previous, so no need to click on the previous link. So to do that, let's move to our function, which is render pagination links, and here let's add, so let's make it hidden. Let's give the attribute hidden, and we test if we don't have link.url. So if we don't have link.url, which is this URL here, if it is null, so we'll hide our link. Okay, so save, let's go back. So as you can see, now we don't have the previous, so the user cannot click on the previous link. If we move to the next, so now we are in next and we don't have the next. If we move back to our previous, same thing. If we move to the next, same thing. Let's click on second page, and now we are in second page. Okay, so what is left? Let's add or let's fix the problem that we said before, which is this one, the index. When we move between pages, so the same index appear here. So we have from 1 to 10, and same thing here from 1 to 10. Okay,